it's Karen and...
Pluto!
Okay, Pluto's in a wound-up mood
I
tonight.
actually like this movie, so that's okay. It's not bad.
All right, so...
It's not great, but okay.
As you can guess, we're doing another movie review over on Karen and Pluto's on another review channel. So, our review... It's not a pirate movie. Our review for this one is Soroity Row from 2009.
Not bad.
It's rated R, hour and 40 minutes.
It has chicks and chugs.
And jugs, did you say?
Well, not a lot.
Okay, so
enough.
Our movie is starting that there's a party going on in the sorority house. And it's kind of like a little bit of hazing going on as well.
Obviously, there's a party going
on. So it's a party for our main characters. I think I have all their names written down through. Oh, yeah.
Chugs and other ones.
Chugs, Claire, Jessica, Ellie.
Blah, blah, blah.
I think I'm missing somebody.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
But they're talking about it kicking off their senior year. And one of the girls goes, well, where's Megan? And they go, oh, well, we're doing this. So I think it's Jessica pulls out her laptop and they're basically watching Megan make out with her ex-boyfriend, Garrett, I think is his name, who is Chug's younger brother.
Probably seems like fun. Never went there.
But I never went through this when I was in college. But then again, I lived at home. I lived at home, though, too, most of my college career. It was cheaper. So... basically, it turns out that I shouldn't say all. Most of the girls are in on, they're playing this trick on Garrett for cheating on Megan.
Well, the main 4 or 5 are, right?
Right. So
that's good, I guess.
Oh, Cassidy. That's the other one. Popular name in these movies we've been doing recently is Cassidy. So anyways, they're talking about how Chugs gave Garrett some roofies to give to Megan. All of a sudden, she starts vomiting and convulsing.
Roofies must be easy to get.
And they're basically, like I said, wanted to teach him a lesson for cheating on her. One thing I noted on here is a lot of them have flip phones for back in 2009. I don't know when smartphones exactly started coming in, but
I'm not a phone kind of monster.
Yeah, so I was kind of just chuckling about that.
I don't have a phone.
So, anyways,
except for my spaceship.
They all get in Jessica's
which don't work now.
Car. Yeah, we know that. And they're trying to drive to the hospital, and they keep saying that, oh, God, she's really dead. She's really dead. Garrett's kind of freaking out, saying, make it go all away. So they go to...
You should have tickled her.
A rock quarry. Rock mine, something like that. A lot of rock quarries in these movies.
Wouldn't you have seen her breathe if you looked real close?
Yeah, you would think. Well, they get her out of the car. They're laying her on the ground. They're kind of discussing it, like, okay, what are we dumping her whole? Are we cutting her up? You know, very, very morbid for their friend who is still alive at this point. Spoilers. So when they put Megan on the ground, she gets her cell phone out and starts filming what's going on as well. And Jessica kind of takes over and goes, well, go and find some sharp rocks so we can dismember the body.
I like to see a body get dismembered by sharp rocks.
So they all kind of like go different ways. And I think Cassidy asked Ellie, like, how long are we letting this go? Or it's very weird. All of a sudden, her ex grabs the tire iron from the back of Jessica's car and kills Megan. Really kills Megan. So Megan is officially dead now. She wasn't before, but now she is officially. So they're, trying to save her, try to stop the bleeding, but she does die. They start discussing what they're going to do. They're worried about affecting the rest of their lives. I
think that's the first thing that goes through their mind after they kill their friend.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to our lives? Ah!
And Cassidy's like, we need to call the police. And everyone's like, no, no, no. So they basically make up a story that they last saw her at the party. She was not seen again. They dump her down a mine shaft, her body.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Sure.
And then Cassidy's still saying about trying to call the police, having no cell service. And basically the girls all kind of turn around. They're like, well, if you go to the police, we'll tell them you did it, and we are protecting you. So basically they kind of all turn on Cassidy, and Cassidy's kind of stuck in with
not quite
the
same
thing.
As the original, but pretty close.
So we go to 8 months later, and it's graduation from college for these guys.
For the chicks.
Cassidy is kind of separate from the others. She's kind of hanging with her boyfriend, Andy, who's valedictorian. Cassidy, like it like shows them at graduation, and then later Cassidy and Andy are talking about why her and her sisters aren't as close as they used to be, and she's like, "Oh, it's a long story, you know. It's
Aren't you glad I told you to take notes?
Yeah, you know, it's whatever."
See, I'm pretty smart.
But Cassidy does go to this final luncheon thing that's scheduled at the sorority house.
Can't read it.
I can't read what I wrote. So
yeah, we'll just get to the part.
Jessica kind of gets nasty with Andy, like, "Oh, you're the one who has stolen our little Cassidy away." And Andy's like, "She's a grown woman. She can make her choices."
I guess I'm jumping ahead. Okay.
Yeah, and all that.
Sorry.
So Jessica's rambling on about how they're remodeling the West Wing and thanking their house mother, Mr. Crenshaw, who is played by Carrie Fisher.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of funny seeing her in this, but
I'm glad she was in it, but it's weird.
Going on, and she's like, you know, and then her, Jessica kind of goes, unfortunately, about Megan still being missing. All of a sudden, this person starts walking through the crowd. Ellie sees Megan, she thinks, freaks out and passes out.
Yeah, good way to stay, like,
so
not knowing you're a killer.
Yeah, so they get Ellie in the house. Jessica's like yelling at her, like, "Wait for playing it cool." Well,
yeah, really.
It's Megan's sister, Maggie, who I don't think really looks 100% like Megan. I mean, other than the dark hair, but that's about it. And she kind of goes in and is just talking and is like, "Oh, well, I'm planning on coming this college next year and pledging Theta Pi, I think is the sorority
Delta,
and all that."
Delta, Theta Pi.
So
if you come here, Maggie, you're gonna die.
Jessica kind of gets Maggie out of the way, and they're like, "That's it." So right at this point, the phones start ringing, showing a picture of the tire iron. And they're like, "Okay, what is going on?"
That could have been a tire iron.
Right.
You could have went to the hardware store and bought one.
So I don't think it comes to I think it mainly comes to Ellie's phone, and they're like, "Don't tell her because she'll freak out."
I don't know their names. Just
so Cassidy's like, "Okay, well, I'm not staying for the party. I'm leaving." And basically, as I put here, she kind of gets blackmailed into staying. Because they're basically like, "Well, if you don't stay, we're going to take this to the police." You know, kind of just being real, whatever.
Well, everybody's going to get in trouble if they threaten to take each other to the police.
Yeah, really. It's kind of like true friendship.
I'm like, okay, you're going to get in trouble too.
Yeah, so Cassidy calls Andy because they were supposed to leave to go to his parents. And she's like, "I got to kind of stay for this party. Can you come?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." And she's like, "Well, we'll make an exit as quickly as possible." So basically, we cut away next to Mrs. Crenshaw, the house mother, giving a speech about friendship and everything.
Blah,
and then
blah,
she
blah.
gives them a gift, that these bracelets that have like 22 links for the 22 girls that are graduating.
I don't get that, but oh well.
Well, it's 20 because there's 22 girls graduating from sorority, so it's kind of saying like, you know, you guys are bonded, so you can remember each other
so there
forever.
23?
Yeah. I don't know if there should have been 23 or if they did 20.
Died, right?
So I don't know if she's the 22nd one or not.
I don't know, whatever. Moving on.
So anyway, she also acknowledges that their girls' last night on campus, they get the house to themselves to throw a wild party. And she goes, basically, you know, don't destroy the place.
Sure. Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, it cuts away. They're all setting up for the party.
I party with them.
Next scene. So then we cut away to Chugs, which I don't know her real name because they just refer to her as Chugs because she drinks a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
She goes to meet with her psychiatrist, I believe he is, Dr. Rosenberg. And she's looking through the house. She goes and grabs a bottle of some sort of alcohol out of the one cupboard. She's drinking it as she's going through the house. She eventually finds him in his bedroom, cuffed to the bed.
Why?
He said his last appointment didn't go as planned.
What kind of appointment could he have had?
I have no clue, but apparently he does not practice psychiatry the way he's supposed to.
Obviously.
So he's like, okay. He goes, well, there's no reason why we can't finish what was started. And he goes, did I tell you about all the free samples I have of medications?
You know what she's into.
So Chugs is like, okay, fine, whatever. So she leaves, kind of calls the girls and says, hey, I'm going to be late. Dr. Rosenberger is making me really work for the prescriptions this time. Well, he's still laying in the bed and he hears a noise in the hall. All of a sudden, there's this figure cloaked in black with this modified tire iron dragging it down the hall. Well, he freaks out, gets the key, tries to unlock himself. Well, he does unlock himself. He stands up to run, and the guy throws the tire iron, stabs him in the head.
Maybe the book would have been cooler, like on that other movie. It's like this.
Yeah. So, no more Dr. Rosenberg. So, Chugs goes to try to find the doctor, can't find him. So she's going to look through the house.
Take the drugs and leave.
Well, I don't think she found anything, so who knows where he had.
Through the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, but I don't think there was anything good in there.
Oh, that's not what she was looking for.
Okay. So she's looking through the house, finally just kind of gets annoyed, kind of lays back on this one chair with her feet up, and she's leaning back drinking. All of a sudden, the bottle gets shoved down in her mouth. Like, her mouth is, like, out like
that's
this.
That's cool. Which that's sad.
Yeah.
I like
and then it happens again where it gets shoved further in, and then all of a sudden, the knife tire iron part kills her.
That's funny when you say get shoved further in.
Well, it does.
I know, but I was thinking of something else.
Yeah. So, no more chugs. Which made Bluto sad.
Camera?
I bumped the table because I was scratching my leg.
Well, just be careful.
So, Bluto was sad when Chugs died.
Yes, I was. He was my favorite character.
So, we get a cutaway next to Jessica meeting her boyfriend, Kyle. Kyle.
Like
Kyle. I always pronounce it wrong. Kyle's. Now I have an accent.
Just call her boyfriend. Or call him boyfriend. Whatever. Who
cares? He's just kind of meeting with her before he shows up. And he's like, I don't like any surprises because I might be getting the vice president. He's just worried about his own interest.
I need to protect interest.
And she's basically like, no, I totally understand. Okay. So anyways, we cut back. The parties get ready to start in an hour. And everybody's kind of worried about Ellie because she's still kind of freaked out from Megan showing up. Jessica's like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to the girl shower room. So they're going to go shower.
Yeah.
One of the girls that comes in apparently is an underclassman.
I like that.
Kind of corners Claire in one of the showers, makes some comments. Jessica's like, this is a seniors only bathroom. Are you a senior? And she's like trying to make up excuses. Well, then Jessica goes, you need to leave. And then she goes, no, wait, drop your towel and then go. And she's saying, because she was like, my room's across the house or something. And the girl makes a comment. She goes, well, if you wanted to see perfect tits, all you had to do was ask. I
like that part.
And then there's still another underclassman.
Nice, don't they?
There's another underclassman hiding in one of the other showers, and Claire and Jessica are kind of discussing what they did with Megan.
She had a nice pair, too.
And this girl overhears and is like, oh my God, well, Jessica and Claire leave, and then our tire iron wielding serial killer comes in and
tire iron wielding serial killer.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast. Kind of goes ahead and takes out this girl in the shower. I'm going to keep this in mind because it's something I was thinking about. I want to bring up later once I tell you who the killer is.
Shower scene. Bring that up later.
So Ellie is down. We go cut away. Ellie is down in the basement putting some stuff away. She finds the coat.
What was that?
Got a notification on my computer about my virus protection.
I wonder if anybody heard that.
We'll find out.
Okay.
If you hear that, that's all it was.
If you didn't hear it, just ignore it.
So she finds the coat that they had put around Megan when they dropped her down the mine shaft. So obviously she starts freaking out, tells everybody. Everybody naturally starts freaking out, and they think it's Garrick playing a trick on them. And Jessica's like, well, we'll just tell him he can't say anything if he'll get in trouble. Jessica's trying to take charge of the situation. So anyways, the party starts. We cut over to Cassidy and Andy, and they're both saying about how they don't want to be there.
Party.
And then Claire and her boyfriend Mickey kind of break up because she was just annoyed with him for some reason, and he's like, whatever. So he goes and tries to hit on some random girls, and
why not?
They don't want anything to do with him. So then he finds these other 2 girls outside the party that are trying to climb the scaffolding where they're remodeling to sneak into the party.
I remember that part.
And he's basically like, I got the bands to get in, but you got to show me some skin. Well, they were debating on what to do, and then all of a sudden you hear some noise outside. Mickey goes and looks, and it's our tire iron friend again, and he's like, dude, I'm just trying to get some, peace out, like, leave. Well, then the girls come out and they're like, nah, we don't want in that bad, and leave. Well, Mickey happens to look up and sees Ellie looking out the window, and he's like, Ellie, don't tell Claire. So he goes in the house trying to find Ellie to keep her shut up because he's figuring, him and Claire will be good. Yeah, that would have been an interesting one. So we cut to Claire and Cassidy. They're kind of talking, fixing their makeup, and Cassie's trying to console Claire from breaking up with Mickey and saying, you know what, he's not good for you. You know, the typical girl stuff that we do when guys hurt or break our hearts. So Claire does thank Cassidy for staying and being there, and they kind of discuss mistakes they've made and everything.
Yeah.
So we cut to Mickey trying to find Ellie over in this part of the house that's being remodeled. I'm trying to remember what I was doing. Yeah. The killer ends up finding him, and here this is where we kind of see that the tire iron's been modified with all these different gadgets on each end. Mickey tries to go down like the laundry chute to escape, and
I forgot about this part.
The killer kind of quarters him and kills him. Ellie sees this happening. So she screams, runs to Claire and Cassidy. Jessica shows up. Or no, Jessica and Kyle are talking, and he keeps asking her if she has everything under control.
Sure. Yep. We do.
Makes it a little suspicious, doesn't it? And she goes, I do. And he goes, you better. Well, they end up, Claire stays with Ellie while Jessica and Cassidy go and look for Mikey, and they do find him dead. And then there's a video somewhere.
More video. This is like 5% footage.
While they're all standing around, their phones go off, and there's a video of the... when Megan was killed, the video that Megan had taken on her phone.
You don't have to know like where to send the video, right?
Yeah, that's
you have to know their email, right?
Cell phone number, because you can send it via text
so
or
he
cell
has
phone.
To know the cell phone number to all those.
Right.
Okay.
So, and there's a text that they need to go to the lake in the next 20 minutes, or this video is going to the police.
I'd uploaded it already.
So Cassidy tells Andy to go to his parents. She'll meet him there and explain everything that's going on tomorrow. So so Cassidy, Ellie, Jessica, and Claire all get in Jessica's Escalade, because she's a rich little snot.
Oh, I thought you say escalator.
No. And as they're leaving, Megan kind of walks in front of them, and Jessica almost runs them over. Jessica and Maggie have some words.
Yeah, she didn't like her in the first place.
Yeah. So they get to the mine area, and there they find Garrett. So they're assuming Garrett's the one doing all this, but he shows that he has he slit his wrist because he's bleeding and everything. Well,
I must forgot about this part.
Jessica gets in her car and runs him over. I think they think he's dead. Well, then one of them checks his phone. I don't remember who, but he also had the video sent to him, so they know it's not Garrett that's doing all this. So they were saying, well, that everyone's like, oh my God, Megan's alive. She wasn't dead now and all that. So they decide the only way to know for sure is to go down the mine shaft.
It's Megan's ghost. I don't know. I'm confused.
Cassidy gets lowered down into mine shaft. Here, Megan's body is gone.
She's a zombie.
Dum, dum, dum. I'm looking to see how much, as I put here, blanket, no Megan. There's a message that Tempa Tai must die. Or whatever the name.
All right, that's funny, but I get it. Okay, moving on.
Anyways, so they go back to the house, and the party's basically over. One of the girls come out, and they're like, oh, where's everybody at? And they're like, after party at some other place. So they're like, okay, we'll be there later. Meanwhile, the house is a total disaster at this point. So they get in the house, and I think Cassidy says about staying together, and Jessica's like, no, I'm going to find Cal, and we're going to that party, and then I'm leaving this place and putting it out of my mind. So Claire goes a separate way because there's something wrong with the jacuzzi. She tries to turn it off herself. Claire
should have just went home.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, no, I couldn't read where I went to.
You should type this up.
Yeah, but I don't have a printer right now.
Yeah.
So Claire gets into some trouble while she's outside. She eventually shows up banging on like the living room doors for help. There's something wrapped around her leg. She gets pulled into the yard, and she's killed by the flare gun she was carrying. So we cut away to Jessica, who finds Maggie in her bed, and she's basically saying she got it on with Jessica's boyfriend. And those two are bickering back and forth, yelling,
of course,
catfighting. And then all of a sudden, someone's in the house. So
they might complain about a lot.
Jessica goes to grab.
Jeez. Here, I'll dance while you figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, Jessica grabs an axe to confront, thinking it's the killer or whoever's doing all this. And here it's Mrs. Crenshaw. And here, when she comes around the corner, she actually punches Jessica in the face. And Jessica goes, Mrs. Crenshaw, it's me. She goes, yeah, I know. That was for destroying the house. Or she says something at this point about we killed Megan or something. And everyone's like, what?
Being awesome.
Yeah. So, basically at this point they're saying the killer's in the house. Mrs. Crenshaw has this like rifle.
Oh, it's coming from inside the house.
So she goes, you guys stay here. I'm going to go look for things and so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
So Megan leaves looking for Megan, thinking Megan's still alive. Then we have Mrs. Crenshaw confronts the killer in the kitchen. Unfortunately, she gets killed. That's
bad. That's sad too.
So
I like if she would have been the killer.
They're all trying to find a phone to call for help. And they're like, well, everyone's phone either is not working or dead or something. And they're like, well, Mickey's phone is probably still with him. So Jessica and Cassidy go and try to get the Mickey cell phone. And then they cut back to Megan thinking she found Megan. And it's actually she found the killer, and the killer sets the house on fire. So
the fire looks really fake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that doesn't.
So then we go back to Jessica and Cassidy. Jessica, I think, gets the phone, but then Kyle shows up.
I already get the point.
He fights with Jessica, and he wants to make sure things stay covered up.
They're burning up. They get into a fight, and there's a fire breaking.
Yeah, they're it's so weird. Everybody thinks, now you think Kyle's the killer.
Well, we know who the killer is.
So,
right?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I must be jumping ahead.
So somehow in all of it, Megan gets away from Jessica and Kyle while they're fighting. She goes and hides in the one bathroom, and she finds Megan's decomposing body hanging in the shower.
How long was she dead?
8 months.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot about the 8-month thing.
Yeah.
It'd probably be pretty stinky, wouldn't it?
Kyle breaks down the door, corners Cassidy. It's basically like, you're going to shut up. You're not going to say anything. I'll take you out myself if I have to. Then all of a sudden, Kyle gets an axe to the back of the head.
Kyle.
And Jessica, I think, was knocked out in the bathroom at this point as well. And here it's Andy had showed up to save Cassidy.
I don't know why I can't remember people's names.
So
I'm not going.
He says about protecting Cassidy, and as they're hugging, she sees his modified tire iron. So Andy is our killer, and
whatever.
He kills Jessica because she comes out like, I'll keep my mouth shut and everything, and he takes her out.
Right.
Which at that point you're like, yeah.
Women can't keep their traps shut on anything.
So Andy says that basically he was taking out everybody who knew. And this is the part where he was saying about the girl in the shower. And I'm like, and I was thinking about this. I'm like, how would he know unless he was hiding out in the shower area listening to this?
Maybe he was watching them in the shower.
Who knows?
Like on Porky's.
But that was just very random. Like, wait, because he says about taking out everybody who knows what happened.
Maybe he likes to watch them through the people.
Who knows?
Well, I would.
So basically, Andy says, okay, now we got to take out Ellie so you can be totally safe. And go on living your life. So Cassidy acts like she's kind of in, like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So they end up splitting up. Cassidy finds Ellie, tries to get her to escape. Andy corners her, kind of gets upset. He goes, I'm doing this all for you and everything. So
I've heard that.
They kind of fight again. Ellie and Cassidy split up at some point because I know they go downstairs, find Megan cornered with the fire and everything.
Megan what?
Cornered.
I thought you said cord.
No, cornered.
Okay, sorry.
With the fire, and Cassidy's yelling, come on, I left your sister, but I'm not leaving you. She tells Ellie to run. Andy shows up. They fight some more.
Yada, 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 yada.
Andy's basically like, at this point, like, I did this all for you and you're not grateful, so he tries to kill Cassidy as well. Well, then Ellie comes back with a shotgun, shoots Andy. He falls through the floor. Ellie is so calm at this point after being in total hysterics the whole movie. She tells Maggie to wrap herself in a curtain to get through the fire and helps Cassidy get out of the hole she was falling through into the basement, and then they escape the house as it's burning.
Yay.
So, at the end of the movie, we cut to Rush Week 15 months later.
So this is like a 2-year movie.
Pretty much. The house is pretty much rebuilt, the sorority house. Maggie is one of the sisters, apparently, and like they're doing a meet and greet type deal. And all of a sudden, we cut away to this gardener that's out front, and his wrists are healed over from being cut.
Yeah, it has to end like a typical movie.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
You know, I don't know if they were trying to set up for a sequel with this
No
or
remakes.
what.
Well, a couple of remakes did, but not very many remakes had a sequel.
Right. I mean, this was from 2009, so we're like 10 years later now. And
you like this or the original better? I like the original, no surprise. But,
yeah, I mean, I think the original's just a little bit different in what it...
I give this movie a C-.
Yeah, I mean...
I like chugs in the boobies.
I've seen this a few times, so I mean, it's rewatchable. It's not a go-to movie for me, I guess, basically. I think it's I think it's one of these things, though, like I think I mentioned, like with Scream and all that, after you've watched it so many times, you're trying to figure out which killer is where.
Yeah, I guess if you watch for a couple of years, you kind of forget about it.
Yeah, so
I forgot about some of it.
Well, heck, you asked me, you're like, you saw this? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And then we start watching it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did see this. So,
yeah, so you forgot about it.
So I honestly forgot about it. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. I mean...
C-, I guess is what I said.
Typical cheesy.
I wish the Carrie Fisher would have been the killer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it was like. The first time watching it, you are trying to figure out who's behind the killings.
I think you actually want her to be doing it. Wouldn't you like to see her with an axe chopping up
people? It would be different. I mean,
have her be like Mrs. Voorhees at the end.
Yeah. Well, she says about staying away from my girls at one point before she dies.
Yeah, but I would have liked it if she would have went all crazy like Mrs. Voorhees and killed them all.
Who knows? But
whatever.
Like I said, it's a watchable. It's, like I said, not one of my go-to movies or anything, but that's it for this review.
Yeah.
So.
Turned out pretty good.
I think so. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we post new content. Share the page. It'd be greatly appreciated.
I'm hitting that bell.
Like I said, I'm planning on trying to set up an Amazon wish list.
So I don't look stupid.
To maybe help get some movies or all that. Or if you have something you want us to watch and you're willing to get it for us, that would be awesome. Or if you want us to review something, let me know because we may have it. I am trying to do a couple things. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the next review because it'll fit with that one a little bit more.
Okay.
Also, check out my other channel, K-Doll Games, Toys, and More for kind of toy reviews and doll movies. Yeah, subscribe. It's one of my featured channels. Easy to get to.
Subscribe to this
You'll see this one over there as well.
What's this one?
You.
Oh, this thing you mean.
I was pointing. I said this one.
I follow you. Go ahead, we'll finish this up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Comment if there's something you want us to review, or let us know how you felt about this movie, or if you like the original. We'll have to do original at some point as well.
Yeah, it's always on Cinemax or Showtime or something.
Actually, this would kind of fit into what I'm going to talk about in the next one, but we'll do it in the next one because this one's running late.
Yes.
See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.